Hey guys, it's me Betty and welcome back to Betty's Books. In today's video, I will be doing my first reading wrap up, A, of 2024 and B, of my life. So I'm very excited. This is my reading wrap up for January and February because I was going to do a January reading wrap up, but then I got too far into February for it to still be like relevant. So I decided to wait, and now I'm doing January and February together. If you enjoy this video, and maybe if you want some more sort of like detailed reviews of the books that I've read, I'm gonna give like relatively short reviews. You can check them out on my Instagram, which is at Betty's Books 10. I go into detail, much more detail with my reviews because I can actually think about what I'm going to say. And let's get started. So the first book I read in 2024 was The Age of Fire: Rise of Warriors by Eden Ross. See, I kind of cheated. Technically I started this in December, but I started it on like New Year's Eve. So this is a January job. This is a debut novel by a teenage author, and her Instagram is at Eden Ross Teen Author if you want to go and check her out. And I've been following her for quite a while, and her book came out in December and I got it for Christmas. I rated it 4 stars. I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed how it like bounced from like place to place. Like, you know how in like a TV show episode there's like lots of characters doing different things and they like hop from what each like group is doing? It does that, and I imagined it like a TV show or a film, and I really enjoyed it. All of like the fantasy elements and like the magic system was all like very easy to understand, and yeah, I'd recommend this for anyone looking for a really good fantasy book. Next, I continued with the Caraval series with Legendary by Stephanie Garber, and I rated this 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this. So I was already attached to the characters because of Caraval, and that we find out lots of things at the end of this book, and wow. And the ending was very dramatic, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It was beautiful, set it up great for the third and final book. Yeah, I would highly recommend this entire series. Speaking of the entire series, I jumped straight into the third one because I was gonna like try and savor it and like read one book in between. No. I decided against it and I went straight in, and I rated this 5 stars. This beautiful book. So much happened in this book, and I still haven't read Once Upon a Broken Heart. I really want to. I need to. I really need to, actually. That's gonna be one of my things for like March or April. So all of the characters, again, loved from the first 2 books, so it was sort of like easy, very easy to read. I flew through it, and I liked how it was from both sisters' like points of view, because in the first one it's Scarlett's, second book it's Tella's, and the third book it's both of them. So I really liked how it sort of like concluded with both of them, you know, so that it was like even, and I really enjoyed both their points of view. And I loved all the characters, I loved the plot, I loved the world, all of the twists had me gasping. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, just I would highly recommend the series. So yeah, the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber, if I didn't say that, sorry. And then I continued with the Percy Jackson series with Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. I still haven't googled that, actually. I've been meaning to google Rick Riordan. I'm going Riordan? Riordan. I'm going to say Riordan. So this is the second book in the Percy Jackson series, very short, like 265 pages, and I rated this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. It was a very quick, short read. It ended on a cliffhanger. I still haven't started the third book, so that's another thing that I need to do. And I was reading this when like the show came out, and yeah, I can't wait to see this in the show, which would be quite cool. So that's Percy Jackson and Sea of Monsters. And then I read Coming Up for Air by Lou Abercrombie. I think that's how you say it. And I read this for a literature quiz that is happening this month, actually. It's very exciting. It's March as I'm filming this, by the way. So there are like 4 books to read and all 4 of the authors are going to be there. So Lou Abercrombie is going to be there. So I read it from my school library. That's why I don't have it with me, because I returned it because I'm a good person. And I really, really enjoyed this. I wasn't really expecting to enjoy it that much because I'm not really an ocean person. But I really liked all of like the filmmaking sort of like references. And I don't know, it was quite a chill read and I really, really liked it. I don't know why. I thought it was going to be about mermaids, but it's not. And yeah, it sort of made me a bit less scared of water because I'm quite scared of the ocean because you can't see how like deep it is. But yeah, it made me a bit less scared of water, which is good because summer's sneaking up behind us very, very quickly. And I would highly recommend this for anyone who likes filmmaking, who likes the sea. Yeah. And fish. There's a lot of fish. Next, my goodness, Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. I'm sort of entering my romance era. I really, really love this book. There's like the drama in it is teenage drama, right? But it felt like it was like the same stakes as like a fantasy book. And I really love the romance, enemies to lovers, fake dating, beautiful. And the second one, I wasn't expecting there to be a second one, but there's a second one coming out. And I'm very excited about that. And I still haven't read any of her other books. Yeah, doing this is giving me ideas of what to read in March. Once Upon a Broken Heart, the third Percy Jackson, and some more Lynn Painter novels. Because I really, really liked her writing style. I wrote down lots of quotes. I loved how at the start of each chapter... Hold on, let me find something. Yeah, at the start of every chapter, there's like a quote from a rom-com. And I really love that as well. And I watched 10 Things I Hate About You straight after this. So I really enjoyed this. 5 stars. Please read it. Now, finally, for January, I read The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I rated this 4 stars. This is a show, or not Netflix, Prime Video. And normally I do not like TV show, like film tie-in covers, but I really like this. I don't know why. I just really, really like it. So I bought it. And I really liked the romance. And again, the teenage drama felt very, very high stakes. And another thing that I need to read, the second book in this series. This is giving me good ideas. Yeah, I really liked all like the coming of age elements. Felt very relatable, apart from the fact that I don't go to a beach house every summer. And all of the chemistry with both of the brothers is, I don't know, it sort of gives me a bit of a moral dilemma. So I'm like, ooh, it's difficult for me to work out whose side I'm on. It's difficult to work out who I'm rooting for. And my friend read the series and absolutely loved it, so I need to read the second one so that she has someone to talk about it with. So that's The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I would highly recommend this one as well. Right, those are the books that I read in January. Now on to February. I started this month with The Lighthouse by Alex Bell, which again I read for the literature quiz that I'm going to be doing. And again, I borrowed it from the school library, so it's not here because I returned it. Again, like a good person. With like scary books, I have to read them until the sun sets, but as soon as the sun sets, I'm done. Because especially when I'm about to start one, I don't know like the scare level, and I would like to sleep. But yeah, this was fine for me to read at night, so it's not like scary, it's more freaky, I guess is the right word for it. And it's quite like paranormal, and I really like ghost stories. I think they're really fun. And I really, really enjoyed this, and I would highly recommend it. And yeah, I rated it 4 stars. Yeah. I really liked all of the characters as well, and it was very suspenseful, especially at the end. Yeah. I would recommend it. Right, next we have Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This, I cried. I sobbed. The first book that makes me sob is a sci-fi book. I was not expecting that to happen. That was not on my 2024 bingo card. Yeah, I listened to this on audiobook. This is like the first book that I've listened to on audiobook, and I really enjoyed it. The narration was really, really good. The guy who did it did all the accents as well, and it was amazing. It felt like, I don't know, like a study on humanity. I don't know if I'm using these terms right at all, but yeah, it just talks a lot about humanity and stuff because he's trying to save humanity. He basically wakes up in space with amnesia and no one else there, and he has to save the world. So yeah, so I rated this 5 stars. I cried. This first bit made me sob. I loved the plot, I loved the characters, and the ending was so wholesome. The ending was so good, and I would highly, highly recommend this for anyone who wants to get into sci-fi, anyone who already loves sci-fi. This would be good. Next, I read The Tree Keepers by Kieran Larwood. This is another one that I'm reading for the literature quiz, and this is really confusing me because this book, in my opinion, looks quite thick, but it's only 370 pages. Maybe the paper's quite thick. I don't know. Yeah, it just looks a lot thicker than it actually is. So I was looking at it and I was like, whoa, this is like 500 pages, and then I checked the page count, it was 370. I was like, whoa. But yeah, anyway, he wrote Podkin, if anyone likes Podkin, and I really enjoyed all of the characters. I loved all the characters. I loved all the characters so much, and I enjoyed the way that the magic works. I feel like in sort of like a fantasy book, the magic's very, very important. It has to be easy to understand, and you've got to like it, basically. And it was easy to understand, and I liked it. So that's good signs. I really liked the sort of like adventure, the quest that they went on, and I thought the world building was really, really good. And yeah, I'd highly recommend this. Okay, next I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I rated this 4.5 stars. And this is the first book that I read on my Kindle. Yeah, February was actually quite experimental because I read my first book on audiobook and my first book on the Kindle. So that's quite cool. And I really, really enjoyed this. Some people are saying that the first book's like a bit bad, and then the second and third book are like amazing. But I thought this book was amazing. So I'm a bit worried for the rest of the series. I don't know if it's going to go downhill or uphill. But there's not much further up you can go because I rated it 4.5 stars. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed the world building. I loved all the characters. I loved the way that the magical world is blended with the human world. I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I can't wait to continue with the rest of the series, really. That's another thing I need to do in March. There is so much I need to do in March. It's a bit scary, but okay. Right, let's say March and April. Maybe March till December. Yeah, March till December. That's a good plan. So yeah, I need to read the rest of the series, and quickly. So that's Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Next, I read The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and I rated this 4.5 stars again. And this again is part of my romance era. But it's also a bit of magical realism. So like, she can see ghosts, but it's not like she can see ghosts because of this. She can just see ghosts. There's no explanation for any of it, but it doesn't really feel like it needs an explanation. Yeah, so she can see ghosts, and she's a ghostwriter, which I found quite funny. She's a ghostwriter, and she gets a new editor, and the editor dies, and then she falls in love with this ghost. And the ending was so sweet. I cried. Maybe I've just been really emotional. Like, maybe February was a very emotionally charged month, because this is the second out of 3 books that I cried at this month, and I never cry at books. Like, the saddest thing can happen, I never cry. But I've cried 3 times at a book this month, at ink on paper. yeah. I really enjoyed Ashley Poston's writing. When people say I don't really get it when people say about people's writing, but I do now. Yeah, I really enjoyed her writing. I thought it flowed really, really nicely. I loved all the characters. I loved the setting. I really loved the setting. And I would highly recommend this for anyone looking for a good, slightly fantastical romance book. Right, we're on to the penultimate book now. This is It's Behind You by Catherine Foxfield. I rated this 4 stars, and this is basically a young adult thriller where these teenagers go on a reality TV show in supposedly haunted caves, and it escalates from there, really, and it gets really, really intense, and I really, really enjoyed it. So if you're looking for a thriller with some ghosty stuff, then this is perfect for you. This has your name written all over it. Finally. Finally. We have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. My goodness. 5 stars. Loved it so, so, so much. The romance, the banter, the plot, the characters, the plot twists. From like, this section was just pure chaos. I cried, I laughed. I didn't laugh in that last bit. I laughed throughout the rest of it, but the last bit, I cried, I gasped. And the main big plot twist, I had to stop reading. I had to like take a 5-minute break, go outside, get some fresh air, because I was not ready for the rest of this book. So I would highly, highly recommend this though. And when people say, oh, this book made me sob, it ripped my heart out and I loved every second, I never get it. But this book ripped my heart out and I loved every second. And the second book comes out in July. And there's a novella coming out in April. So I am going to pre-order both of those. And if you enjoy The Hunger Games, you really, really enjoyed it. Like, you really enjoyed this. Because I love The Hunger Games. Like, Catching Fire is like my favourite film. It's like my comfort film. I know that sounds really weird, but we're not gonna talk about it. It's my comfort film, okay? So I really, really love The Hunger Games. And this is basically The Hunger Games with magic. What's not to love? So that's Powerless by Lauren Roberts. So those are all the books that I read in January and February. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did and you enjoyed my channel, or if you want any more detailed reviews of any of these books, then you can check out my Instagram, which is @Betty'sBooks10, where I really just post reviews. If I'm being completely honest, I just post really in-depth reviews of books that I've read. So yeah, have a great day, week, month, year, however long it is until I next see you. Have a great time then. Bye for now.